Believe it or not, I don't do a lot of prep work when I work into these. In fact, I do basically no prep work when I get into those. All I do is just sit down and say, okay, I'm going to talk about whatever I have to talk about. And I mention that because some episodes, not this one, but like some episodes I've gone through and it's like, God, this would be like a 15-minute rumination if, I had actually gone through this and had tried to do a full rumination for me, because I just have so little to say about so many of these episodes. There's a lot of vacuous episodes, especially in season 1. Now we're getting better about that in season 2, but every now and again it's just like, okay. That being said, this is an episode that I kind of expected to roll my eyes at, but on reflection I actually rather enjoyed, because I really like the idea that Grievous is the side plot of this episode. I've already said so much about Grievous that I don't feel the need to add anything else to that, but what I like about this is Grievous basically serves here as a symbol of the war. Now, I still think Grievous should be a more fleshed out character, and I still think they should do more with him. In this episode, he is the literal definition of stupid Sith in every way except for using the Force. Seriously, everything he does is textbook stupid, evil Sith. And it's dumb and I hate it. But I'm okay with it. Well, I'm not okay with it, but I can at least tolerate it because of the fact that it serves for an emphasis of the actual main plot of this episode, which is the plot about Rex and Cut. And I like that part. The idea of a clone who decided to defect is interesting to me, especially given the idea of what led to it. One of the things we've seen rather consistently throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars series thus far is the idea that the clones have a strong sense of significance or relevance. There always has to be something that really means something to them, something that really matters. And for the most of them, that's the job or their brothers. They constantly refer to each other as their brothers. But Cut had that moment of just, my life means nothing, and he ran. And then he found a new significance. He found the Twi'lek woman, who, forgive me, I can't remember her name right now, and he decided to start a family. And obviously this happened a while ago, given the children and had the state of that farm. So this is probably at the beginning of the war, really. And that became his source of significance, his source of relevance. Something he could dedicate himself to. There's something just really heartwarming and awesome about the scenes where Rex and Cut are both discussing exactly how they're going to defend their little farmstead with a side pistol and a loose old rifle blaster, whatever, in order to go against the commando droids. Now, and that whole sequence was just great. In fact, when I first saw this for the first time, I was worried they were going to kill Cut, and I'm like, oh, God, no. Like, obviously they're not going to kill Rex because he's in future stuff, but Cut, no. I'm glad they didn't kill him. Instead, what we saw is the kind of camaraderie that we have seen when we've really started to humanize the clones and really showcasing the kind of connection and dynamic they can do when working together. That scene where the blaster drops between the two of them and I think Cut picks it up and just shoots the commando droid. That was awesome, and it shows how alike they tend to think and how much they tend to go with it. I also like the discussion between the two. When there's this implication, and this just might be me reading too much into it, of the idea that there's no need to lie to each other. Like, that would be one of the weird benefits of being a clone, wouldn't it? You would have no particular need to lie to your clone. It would be the one person you could lower those defenses and lower that mask for, because Cut is brutally honest with Rex, and Rex is brutally honest in return. Rex flat out says, no, this is my choice, and I believe him, because I also think that there would be clones who, despite being faced with the possibility of what is effectively droid effect, would still choose to fight in the Republic military because of the nature of the threat that they're facing, because of what the Separatists mean. Even if the Separatists were written properly and weren't cartoonishly evil, they would still be a monumental threat to the lifetime and peace of an entire galaxy. It's not that hard to understand. All you have to do is pick your favorite corporation that you hate in real life and think about them taking over on a national governmental level, and bam, you understand the problem. Most of you are probably gamers watching this right now. Think about EA taking over, becoming the nation of EA. Think about the nation of Bank of America, right? Think about the nation of, well, I'm not going to keep going to examples. I could really tear some companies apart. But just think about that for a second. And thus, it becomes obvious why you're so invested in trying to stop that from happening, right? I love it. I love the human element. I love the portrayal of that. And I love the idea, and this is again just my implication, that Rex very strongly believes in his duty, but believes that he does not have to report Cut because he believes Cut is doing his responsibility. He may be just defending his family and his farm, but he has proven that he is doing that. As Rex flat out says, you are not a coward. And I like that. In other words, the idea there is that out of respect and out of that significance, he says, all right, I don't have to report you because, basically speaking, you're not really a deserter. You've left the military, but you haven't left your job. I like this episode, if it's not obvious, despite the Grievous side of things. And despite the fact that Obi-Wan is just like, oh my god. I do gotta ask, what kind of aerial superiority do they not have that a single shuttle pod is able to escape when they have established total dominance of the airspace? I mean, really? You guys are pathetic. Anyways, that's all I got. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next time.